Good morning, boys and girls of the internet. Look what is in my driveway. 2010 Toyota Prius. Now, I've never owned a Prius. We did have a few back at the recycling center years ago, and I drove plenty of those. I've driven a couple second generations. This is the third, being a 2010, and me and Cody bought it. And we bought it cheap because right there it had a little date with a tree limb. So the damage doesn't look too bad. We're going to get into this in a minute. Car has 130,000 miles. The miles is what sold me. The hybrid system works perfectly. I don't have the key in my pocket, but the interior is nice. You do see that it blew out the steering wheel airbag. We'll have to get one of those, and a crash sensor and a seat belt because the driver's seat belt is locked. But it was $700 for a 130,000 mile Toyota Prius. I'd buy 5 more of them at that price. This isn't the best year for these engines. It's a different design from the second generation, but with 130,000 miles, it has a great maintenance history. As long as you keep oil in them and keep it changed, make sure your hybrid cooling, the antifreeze that runs through that, is in good shape. Besides that, it's the same as the second gens with the ABS pumps that you have to change out. Otherwise, solid little cars. So we're gonna see if we can hunt down some parts. But first thing, we're gonna get this all opened up and try to start getting some of these broken pieces out of here somehow. It's early in the morning. We just got up. There's a golf cart parade and car show in our town today. So we're gonna try to head to that in a little bit and take our nephew Hudson. We got the back seat and stuff put on the golf cart now. Here's the extent of the damage down here. Looks like we did bump the crash support right here just a little bit. Headlight completely shattered out of it. Washer jug, I think it put a hole in it because it is completely out of fluid. Yeah, bolts. It is what it is. Anyway, let's get to taking some stuff off. Cody's working on getting the screws out, but we've got a tiny little dimple right here in this fender. Right there. That is preventing the door from opening. It's catching. Got the headlight off. Cody got it all opened up in here. So we can see the filler neck itself is shattered. Coolant tank is in good shape though, thankfully. And he's working on prying this fender out and getting this last corner. This is where it's hung on it. Get that screwdriver and knock that thing down. That should get the rest of it out. There you go. So that opens all this up. Doesn't look too bad in there now. We've got to pry this forward some so we can get the door all the way open to get the bolt out right here. Another hidden top bolt is removed. Put the strap on it, yanked it forward. Got a nice gap in here now, and the door finally opens. So Cody can get in there, and we've got a bolt there, and I see a bracket here, so there's probably another bolt down there. We got the lower one out already. Let's see. A lot of hidden bolts down there in the bottom. Ta-da! And there's how you do that. Looks like we got a bird's nest up in here. Have to get that out. There's one of the little clips right there. These little tabs. And you got one up underneath here, and that's where the fender slides in. Cody started to bend that out of the way, but in reality, this is what was holding him back. And you can just slide this pretty much straight out. So the sheet metal underneath doesn't look too bad. All this looks okay. Right here is where we're bent. That's part of where the bumper bolted. This whole corner is kind of twisted. But I think we can straighten that out. If we were able to fix that Ford Escape, then this should be a walk in the park. Up here, this little brow's bent a little bit. Right across the top. Nothing crazy though. I think once we get a headlight and a fender and stuff, we'll take it down there in the yard with the tractor and or maybe use the tractor as an anchor and some ratchet straps and massage it back into place. But once we have that fender and the headlight, we'll be able to eyeball it as we pull it and make our measurements that way. So you last saw we got everything taken off the Prius, and then Cody got on Marketplace and found a guy who's parting out one that's the same color as ours. So we took Hudson and Jesse and the golf cart downtown to the kart festival that they were having. I took a few pictures. I'll throw them in here, right here. So we're going back to the house now that that's over with. We're gonna unload, well, we're not even gonna unload, we're just gonna switch cars. We're in the new Subaru Outback. I'm gonna grab a toolbox and some pliers and stuff, put everything in the black Subaru Outback, and then we're gonna hit the road, run down there and grab those parts before that guy leaves. All right, so we just got our pile of parts that you probably can't see, but there's the edge of a fender, right? Oh, you get it. The headlight on the car was actually damaged, unfortunately, so we're not gonna, well, he gave it to us, even though it's damaged. I might can make some kind of bracket, but we're just gonna have to end up ordering a set of headlights off of Amazon or eBay or something, some of the replacement ones. But we came, we saw, we conquered, we got our stuff. He cut us a good deal. Micah, if you see this, we appreciate you. And yeah, let's go put our Prius together now, as best we can anyway. Oh, and we got the washer jug too. Forgot to mention that because ours was busted. And the hood bracket, the hinge for the passenger side. I think the driver's side we can bend back over, but the passenger side was screwed up big time. Okay, I need a drink. We're gonna stop at QT, then we'll go home and we'll put all this stuff on there. Back home with our parts, we have loosely set the fender on here just to kind of get us an idea of where we're at. And we're way off. This thing is far left field right now, so we got to get some pulling going on. And I know as much as you want to see the frame straightener 5000 over there, I can't use it today because there's a bird's nest under the hood. So we're going to use the Dirty Dodge. I'm sorry to be a letdown, but there's baby birds that have nested on top of the battery, and I don't want to disturb them until the eggs hatch and they move on. So my tractor's been sitting there for like 3 weeks right now, waiting for them to fly the coop. So in the meantime, here we are, Dirty Dodge strap. This metal is so thin, I think I can do most of it with a come along. So that's what we're gonna do. Get this fender back off, start pulling on some metal. Down here, we just swapped the wiper reservoir. You can see how great my sheet metal work is. All this looks impeccable. I have to hook our ground wires up once we get the fender up here because it bolts in there. But all the lines are hooked up. I think this is the route that they went. I'm honestly not sure. All that was already unhooked. We also got this bottom piece of plastic snapped back in, and that light still does work. But yeah, that's snapped back in now. But I think this is as good as it's gonna get with this cover until I find another paint matched cover. We did take some measurements of the upper radiator support, measuring between bolts and the bolts on the strut towers because they're going to be pretty much the same across the front because the car we went and looked at was also wrecked. So really can't get any measurements from a wrecked car. And now it's time for everybody's favorite game of how far do we yank this thing. So as you see, the bumper support here, the crash bar, is actually what's shifted over the most. You can see bent. And what this has done subsequently and inevitably, because of where this mounts here for the condenser, the radiator, and all that stuff, it is ever so slightly tweaked it over just enough. With our new hinges on there, the hood catch doesn't line up perfect, neither does the hood latch. And then we had a big gap up here at the headlight, and started here was a big gap, and then it gets smaller as you go up. And so what that means is that the whole nose went this way a little bit. So now I'm gonna take the temporary frame straightener over here, put a chain on it, yank it, and hopefully bring it back right where we need it. Well, after some persuasion with the truck and some accidental worsening in a few places, this is where we're at with some washers on the hood hinges, letting it come forward a little bit. Somebody's grilling hibachi or something, I can smell it. The fender is partially tightened in. Our gaps are looking rough. The headlight will sit back into place now, and when we close the hood, this is a rough fit, but I mean, keep in mind, we still have to clip all the bumpers in. We have to get the bottom piece locked in. We got to put the insert back in the grill, and I could not put the foam in it because it was where that brace was bent. That was really messing us up. So the actual, crash bar is still in the car. Just the foam is no longer behind it. And honestly, I mean, from standing right here, looks like a regular old Prius, right? So I don't think that looks bad for where we started. We're still a little high on this corner right here. But once again,
have you said how much parts were?
Yeah, I think I told him we got like $60 in parts so far.
$60.
Yeah, so we're $60 into the car so far with just a little bit of time. And remember, I don't do body work. You know this. You've seen me fix other stuff. I'm not a body guy. I'm just a can I drive it kind of guy. And this is definitely a drivable car, almost. We're going to work on tweaking some things. We'll be right back. I know it doesn't look any better. It actually looks worse than it did a minute ago, but it's okay. I think we've got a lot of this figured out. I'm starting to tighten up all the fender bolts now. The hood has washers behind it. It's still a little off. It's okay. I just went around and got all this lower air dam, whatever, snapped back into place on this. Got these brackets bent back out on both sides to support the bumper. Found out that even though the headlight is busted, because this lower clip, I can still get it to attach down here, which means the headlight will still kinda, sorta, you can see, snap into place, which I'm gonna count that as a win because I need a win at this point. So I can guide it in there, run a self-tapper through it to hold it in. This is at least better than not having any headlight at all. So this is where she's at for tonight. I know it doesn't look great. We'll readdress some things. The bottom is all kind of bolted on. And then the last thing I'm gonna stick on hubcap. So that goes like this, and then pow. Look at that. Perfect. All right, see you guys in the morning. And the dawn of another day is upon us. So this is where we ended things last night. I want to get the car washed today, but I want the weather to warm up a little bit more first. It was about 55 this morning. We're not even 11 o'clock. I think it's only 10. Yeah, it's actually 10 o'clock now. But I want it to warm up a little bit before I get out here and start washing on it. I don't think our lines are that terrible for what we're working with here. I do know that I need to still figure out how to slot the hood hinges a little bit more to get the angle that I want. This fender can only be adjusted so much. That headlight, I wish it would go further in. Cody got in here and did the first interior cleaning. So this is where we're at. A couple stains in the seat, nothing major. Still has floor mats in it. They're black. I don't know if they're supposed to be black or if they would have been tan. I don't know. I did notice that steering column cover needs to be snapped back in, probably from where that lower airbag deployed. Not too worried about it though. We also got the steering wheel taped up for the moment. I found somebody parting out a couple Priuses on Marketplace. So, because the one we went and got the parts from yesterday had no airbags in it. So I'm probably gonna grab some of those airbags off of Marketplace to replace those. Also, found out we have, where is it? It's in my other pocket. There are 2 keys, not just one. So we have 2 of the original remotes, which is nice. And this car has remote locking and Does it do unlock? Yes, okay. So it does do, yeah, the unlock is actually in the handle itself. So all that does work. I think now we'll get it washed up. We've got a shampooer. We might even hit the seats with it today. I don't know. We'll see. But honestly, I don't think that looks horrible for where we started and where we're at. You know, $700 car. Come on. Cody is giving the Prius its inaugural bath, the first one. And now we popped the wheel covers off. All Priuses have wheel covers on them. And the third and the second generation, underneath the wheel cover is a funky looking aluminum wheel. So we might leave it like this. We might put the hubcaps back on it. Cody's gonna clean them up and see how they turn out, because they are grimy. But I dug around and I had just enough. Check out my elephant ears that are growing back this year. I got just a little bit of aluminum brightener left. That should be enough to do all 4 wheels. So he's gonna do this. I'm gonna run to a parts store because they sell cans of paint that are paint coated, like for Toyota products, Chrysler, or Ford, Chevrolet, stuff like that. I think Duplicolor is the one that makes it. They're small cans. And I'm gonna see if they've got a can of this Toyota red. I know it's not gonna fix it, but if I could just over all that crap, I'd feel a whole lot better about it. And if not, oh well, we'll just deal with it. But I went to O'Reilly first, and they were completely out of Toyota Duplicolor cans. And so I went to Dollar General, picked up some stuff for Cody. I did get bug spray, like the washer fluid, I mean. And then I decided to stop at AutoZone. I don't love AutoZone, but they had 1 can of paint matches to original Toyota color. Right. And the paint code is 3R3, and that is the exact paint code that the Toyota uses. That is what is on the Prius, the 3R3 red. It's also known as Barcelona red metallic met. So I got a can. We could try to do some touching up on that bumper. I should have got some fiberglass, some short strand fiberglass, and I could have filled in that where the bumper cover is torn. But I didn't think about that until just now for some reason. So I guess we're just touching up the little bit that's there. Charlie, any other words? Nothing? Okay. Well, here she is washed. We have elected to leave the hubcaps off of it for now, and by we, I mean Cody. So I had to put them back on, but it's okay. They need to be cleaned up anyway. But she is officially washed. Got some armor on. He said we can get center caps for these wheels, so that's probably what we'll do, I guess. Did a little drive today, got some groceries in it. Seems to be doing pretty good. It is time now to take the Duplicolor and see if we can't make this look not as much like this. I can't fix the stuff because I should have got some short strand fiberglass, like I said, but I didn't think about it. So that's just going to remain, but if we can cover up all the black stuff, I think it'll look better. So Cody's about to get in here and we'll check it out when it's done. Check it out in the daylight. If you squint and you back up further, it just looks better the further you go. So the bumper cover has still got a tear in it. I mean, it's a $700 car. And we're looking for a bumper cover, but I haven't found one yet. So if I find one, I'll get one. But as of right now, this is how it's just going to have to sit. Also, like 2 weeks has went by because I'm not good with time management. So it's not what you're thinking. Instead of being the morning after the evening where we painted the car, it's like 2 weeks later. Because fast forwarding time is fun. Also, I didn't film anything because work has been busy and life has been busy and I have been incredibly stressed. Allergy season is still happening, so I can't breathe. So if my voice sounds funny, it's because I can't breathe. Anyway, the Prius, we're actually driving it right now. I'm still looking for an airbag for the steering wheel. I have not found one yet that's reasonably priced. I do plan on replacing that. In the meantime, I've drove it. Cody's drove it. We've actually put like right at 500 and something miles on it, which is good because we've decided to take it to Atlanta, Georgia this weekend on a little road trip. So a couple years ago, we drove our $1,000 Chevrolet Cruze to Atlanta, Georgia and back, and it did great. I also ended up driving that car all the way across the Midwest and back, and it did great. We filmed all of that. You can go check it out. But we started with our Atlanta trip to go to FWA. So this year, we're going to FWA again, and I'm going to take the $700 Prius because that makes the most sense. Plus, Atlanta is super trashy in most places, and every year at that convention, they usually have cars that get broken into. So if they break a window out of a $700 Prius, I won't feel so bad as if they break it out of our new Outback. We're taking it to the shop today. We're going to change the oil and stuff in it, check out the underside of the car. I've never really been underneath it. We're going to see what that looks like. This is probably as good as it's going to get. We did do the touch-up paint and stuff. The bumper mostly snapped into place, but one of them is torn, the clip. So that's as good as that will get. And you still have this big imprint right here on the corner, but I did what I could with what I had. That's just gonna have to work until I can find a bumper cover, if we even decide to put a bumper cover on it. I do want to find an inner fender liner because this is missing, and I've got a wind strip piece that's supposed to snap in back there I got to put in. Hood gaps are not perfect. There's a ding in the hood right there. I think it lines up okay for a $700 Prius, and I think it looks okay for a $700 Prius. It's good enough for me anyway. So let's change the oil. I went and picked up got a cheap microguard 570/64, and then the O'Reilly brand full synthetic 0 weight 20, which is what this Prius calls for. Let's see what it looks like. Ooh, yeah, that's dark. We'll let this drain. Let's get the filter out. This is the filter housing that unscrews in the back of the car. You have an O-ring right here that you replace. And this is the tool that slips over it to unscrew it. And this is the teeny tiny little baby filter that comes out. This is it. And it all goes up there into that hole, and that little locking tab keeps it from unscrewing on its own. And the new filter, crack it on a moped. Gotta love working downtown. Anyway, the new O-ring is green, so that goes right there. Filter just slips into there like that. Let's change the O-ring. Just topped it off with oil. We're ready to go up here. I was gonna put all the clips back in this little dust shield. This missing some, but I have the horns unplugged because after the airbag deployment incident, there's some kind of trigger in there that makes the horns, they just constantly, they don't stop. So I just left them unplugged for the moment until we get the new airbags in it and I can reset the system. Otherwise, everything looks good up here. The car is happy. We need to reset the oil light. As I finish the oil change and put some new clips in the stuff and got the bumper snapped in a little bit better, ignore that screw that you can barely see. I cleaned the air filter on the car. It wasn't really dirty. It had a little bit of stuff on it. It got me to thinking maybe I should do the cabin air filter. And so here it is. You know, stab it back in here. Just like, which way does this go? Come on now. Come on, dude. There we go. Sits in there kind of like that. That corner goes in first. That goes over it like that. And the glove box latches back in. Can I do it one-handed? Probably not. Yes, I can. Snap the little arm back on. Voila, there we go. All that's done. I think now it just needs a bath to get all the bird crap off of it. Because I don't know what went on. I don't know what was in the food I put out, but golly. Do you want me to say good morning again? Really? Charlie does. So in case you can't tell, whole different car, not even in the freaking Prius anymore. Another day has went by. I got a haircut. So we're on the way to the recycling center. There's a place over here that we're gonna go and take our scrap metal, and we're also gonna look for a spare tire for that Toyota Prius while we're here, because I got a trailer load. This is all just a bunch of lawnmower stuff, junk, from my grandparents' estate that we were selling. And I really didn't feel like cluttering up my backyard with all this junk. This stuff, like some of those snappers, there's two snappers. This is like the second load I've already taken, but there's two snappers. Neither one of them have ran in 15 years. Motor's locked up on one. Just junk. So we're taking all this to the scrapyard. The goal is to make at least $100, because the dirty Dodge is out of gas and I need a spare for that Prius. We're still going to Atlanta in it for FWA, and there's no spare tire. And before I take that kind of drive on the interstate, I want a spare. Charlie, you want a spare? He just wants some of that fresh air this morning. And I forgot my sunglasses. I don't know where I've left them, but I've left them somewhere. So, blue eyes, bright sun, it's not a good mix. Let's go get this stuff unloaded, get paid, find a spare. Car change again. So the Prius is out of fuel. Oh, there it is. Last little bar is flashing. I'm gonna fill it up. Let's see how much this takes. Oh, we also got our spare tire while we were at the junkyard. Now all that's left to do is take it to the shop and see if it fits. So, completely empty. 87, it's $2.69 a gallon right here. All right, 26 bucks. 9.7 gallons. She's full. Leaving the gas station, and I don't think that screen's gonna focus right because of the refresh rate. But 545 miles is what it estimates on this tank. I bet we'll do, I hope we do better than that, but we'll see. Now we're gonna go to the shop, test fit the wheel, make sure everything's good to go. Did a quick test fit. Fits perfect. Now I just need to get it organized into the trunk, make sure the jack that I've got is going to work, and we're pretty much golden. I'm also going to put air in it. It's got air in it, but I'm going to put the right amount in it. And we're back. So we are on the road now in the Prius, headed to Atlanta. We're going to see how this thing does. You saw us get the tire in it. We filled it up with gas. We drove it to dinner last night and drove it around. I think we've used one line of gas so far. Yeah, we're down one line of gas. So not bad. I think we drove, trip says 78 miles on that first line. It says we got 435 to an empty tank based on our driving habits right now. So let's get this thing on the highway. We've also never had it on the highway. I'm anxious to see how that does and if it makes it to Atlanta. So let's go. Here we go. Prius on the highway. First time. Ease in it. And as soon as I spoke, I think it used another line of gas. I think it went down to, we went down 2 lines now. That's okay. According to the fuel economy the car is rated for, and using fueleconomy.gov, the car should drive there on less than $12 worth of gas and return on less than $12 worth of gas. So the way it looks, we should not have to get fuel again if we're efficient enough. On the interstate, that guy just got him some good cars at the auction. Volkswagen, Jeep, and he's bringing them home with a Frontier. Good stuff. Got a Tesla in front of us. We're not moving too quick, but we're doing good on fuel right now. So I was under the impression they only made like so many Cybertrucks, like it was a few thousand, I thought, something like that. But for there to be only a certain production number met, there sure are a lot of them. We see a ton of those. I mean, we've seen 2 today so far. 85 for Atlanta. Car's still doing fine. 76 mile an hour. Gas gauge hasn't moved. Efficiency is right at 50 miles a gallon right now and staying consistent right there. Speed's been between 75 and 80. Traffic is finally starting to open up. But anyway, are they making more Cybertrucks? Or is the same number of them still out there? I'm completely confused. I don't follow that information, so I don't know. I just remember them saying, oh, we're making 2,000 of them or whatever it was. And I thought, oh, okay. And then it seems like if they made 2,000 of them, then 500 of them ended up in this area. I don't get it. All right, well, we'll see you guys in another 50 miles or so. And our next contender for auction wins, we have a Dodge Challenger, a Ford F-150, and a Chevy Silverado. And believe it or not, a lot of those cars end up in Mexico. Yeah, 133 miles to Atlanta, by the way. I don't know why, but I didn't know that until recently. I just thought it was a coincidence. But no, they send people here and they buy these cars, salvage, auction, stuff like that. They'll chain them together with tow dollies and they take them back to Mexico. I don't know if they're fixing them in Mexico and driving them or using them for parts or what. Speeds 75, 80, fuel mileage right around 50 miles a gallon. Lake Hartwell, South Carolina and Georgia state line. There we are. Welcome to Georgia. This is where we start to reel our speed in a little bit. Knock her over into the slow lane and look out for those GSP because they do not play. Onwards to Atlanta. I figured we'd have a sign. Ernest Vandiver Highway. Buckle up, it's the law. I'm buckled. Lake Hartwell, 1 mile. No sign for Atlanta. I'm assuming we're 90 miles. I haven't even looked at a map or GPS, so yeah, that just says Lake Hartwell. Well, if I see a sign, we'll read it. Oh, 20-something odd miles into Georgia now, and look at that. Another Cybertruck. I don't know what it is. They're everywhere. So they had to have made more, because either that or all of them ended up here. That one's a cool green color. I don't know if you can tell. It's like an olive green. I like that. Neat stuff. Ugly, but you know, it's one of those a face only mothers could love kind of thing. We also used another line of gas. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. Speed still between 75 and 80. Fuel economy right around 50. So looking good-ish. Just like that, we've made it to Atlanta. We've got half a tank of fuel left. I kind of expected us to have more than half a tank, but that's okay. The last 30 minutes or so has been stopped traffic, and there's accidents, and it started pouring down rain, and it's a mess outside. It's also getting colder. 52 degrees out right now, and kind of breezy, and this rain's cold. But we're within 9 minutes of our destination if we can just get through the next 1 mile. That's about it. Eating some lunch now at the High Velocity restaurant inside the Atlanta Marriott something Atlanta. And then here shortly we'll take the Prius, well tonight, we'll take the Prius back home and see if it makes it. So we left it in, we were gonna park it at the hotel, and you gotta pay the valet to park it. They won't let you park it. And I wasn't prepared to get out of the car at that point, so I put it in public parking. And hopefully it's still there when it's over with. I don't know. And we are back in the Prius after it's 7:30. So after 7 hours, 7 hours of this, we're done. So now let's see. Inside in the Prius, let's see. Hit the button. And it's alive. Cool. Let's get out of here. Well, we've done over 100 miles, and I failed to do any kind of update. We've been plugging along pretty quick here. Finally drove out of the rain. It absolutely stormed like crazy for the last 2 hours of this drive, 2.5 hours so far, and counting. And the car just, oh, there's some siren or lights. And the car just beeped at us. She is down to her final bar of fuel, and range is down to 24 miles, which means we're gonna have to stop and get fuel. Reading on some of the Prius forums and stuff, they say the best way to get mileage out of one of these is to try to keep it under 70. And we have not done that at all. I've been exceeding 80 for most of the trip. And our little fuel gauge, or miles per gallon meter, however you want to say that, sits right below 50 as soon as you get over 75. And there she blows. 9 miles to empty. Fuel light flashing. We pulled off here at a QT. We're gonna run in and probably grab something to eat here since they've got a kitchen. All the QTs have a pretty good kitchen. It's like a Wawa or a Sheetz equivalent. So let's see how much it takes to fill it up. So while we're stopping for fuel, I decided to check the oil level. It's perfect. Still full. But this takes, you know, all of an extra minute, 2 minutes for you to do. And I've got the pump over there running, which it's about to click off in a second. Look at that, 25 bucks, 9 gallons. But my granddad used to do this every time he stopped and got fuel. I remember this from even when I was little. He stopped and he got gas. He filled the car all the way up. There was none of that $5, $10 here and there crap. He filled the car all the way up. You're gonna need the gas anyway. And while the pump was running, he came over here, he pulled the dipstick, and he checked the oil. And then once the oil was checked, I'm not gonna do it, but he would clean the windows off with the little thingies that they used to have at the pump. He did that when I was a kid. I'll never forget that. And he said it takes an extra minute and it's good insurance. $25, 19 cents, $9 or 9 gallons, 9.4 gallons. And there we go. She's full. Let's collect our receipt that it did not print. Cool. Well, I got this, so this is my evidence of it, and I've got the receipt on my card. Let's go get food. So with our $25.19 worth of gas, we also racked up a bill in the QT. We got some turkey wraps that were pretty decent. I washed mine down with a Reese cup and a strawberry banana body armor. I ate half of it, the other half is still in the bag. And then I ate one Reese cup and left the other because they were the jumbo cups because they didn't have the regular ones. Cody had the same thing. He's not eating yet though because he threw mine into the floor and then felt bad about it.
Go ahead. Keep talking.
My whole wrap, he was just like, here, and fumbled in the floor. So that's fine. I ate it anyway. I told him I didn't care, but he's all sad now.
Let me alone.
Yeah, so there's that. And he also got these Pringles Mingles that I thought said mini, but it does not. It says Pringles Mingles. Light, airy, crispy. Cheddar and sour cream. We have not tried those yet. We probably will here in a minute. I'm about to get back on the road. I ate and had just enough time to watch a brew stew film. If you don't know what a brew stew film is, go check that out. Let's see what the gas gauge says. key, button, foot on the brake. Oh yeah, that's it. And we have full tank of fuel, and our range is not reset yet. Still says 9 miles. Once I get on the highway, it should fix that. So let's get back on the highway. As soon as I pulled out, the range indeed reset. 509 miles is what it estimates on this trip, or this tank. And yep, good to go. Let's as soon as the light turns, we'll get back on the interstate. And good morning once again. It's the dawn of another day. And because I jump around so much in my videos, that's exactly what just happened. More days have went by. We drove home from Atlanta. It was completely uneventful. The car did fine. When we got home, I just went to bed. I called it an evening. I didn't even film. Then, the following day, I pretty much got a trade offer for the Prius. So, I don't know if it's going to go through yet for sure. However, the Prius is no longer in my possession, and the vehicle that I could be trading for is. The person that's trading me has a vehicle that was also wrecked about the same way. Will also need the airbags put in it, so we're pretty equal in that. Both of them still have some visible damage. One of them is newer than the other. The mileage is actually almost the same, but they are not the same type of car whatsoever. All right, that's it. If you enjoyed watching me half-ass fix this Prius, drive it to Atlanta and back, and then trade it off before I had time to even do anything, then let me know. Drop a comment down below, let me know what you think. We'll catch you all in the next one. I'm going to get gasoline and some gas station breakfast, because that's how we're doing it today. All right, thanks for watching.